How to stay in a high vibration in 2022. Okay, so this one's a doozy, right? We have been through so many things, and the state of the world is doing its best to break us. And by state of the world, I do not mean Mother Gaia, but those in power and society, which is man-made, and it's a construct that is definitely crumbling. Nevertheless, this year is quite intense, as have been the last few, and as will continue to be. And so it's incredibly important to be on top of a lot of things that you can control, because in this time of a lot of confusion and uncertainty, it's very important to be certain in ourselves. So how to stay in a high vibration. I actually have an Ascension guide that I created recently, so I will link that below, but I'm going to speak about a few of things that are life-changing when you are going through your own spiritual journey, whether you just want to be a bit more healthy, or whether it's you're constantly in this low vibe because of all the news and chaos, and you just want to relax, be in a good space so that you can rise and take others with you, which is where I'm at. So the news, the media. This is a big part that I think a lot of us overlook. Turn off the television, turn off anything that is mainstream, turn off anything that is continuously reminding you of all the destruction in the world. Since you were born until you leave this earth, there are people dying and being tortured and all the most horrible things that you can imagine. It's always been happening. Whether you tune into it or not is up to you. Now, I'm not saying to be ignorant and to pretend that everything's okay. What I'm saying is to realize that everything is okay, because everything is in divine timing, and only the human perspective and judgment is what is causing you to categorize something as sad or bad. This thing that only exists in this third dimensional matrix. Once you rise above it, it does no longer exist. Everything has its purpose, and that's a really lovely way to disconnect. So important part of it is disconnecting from the attachment to outcomes, disconnecting from the attachment to loved ones, disconnecting from the attachment to material possessions, even the attachment to yourself. We are so attached to our own identity that we don't even realize that we have nothing to do with this superfluous, redundant identity that is actually holding us in a box rather than allowing us to break free and actually access our limitlessness. It is giving us limits. So it's really important to understand that you have the power to shift your entire life, your entire perspective. You are here to co-create, and you have to understand that it's up to you whether you want to feel bad or not, whether you want to feel sad or not, whether you want to focus on something or not. Whatever you focus on expands. Where focus goes, energy flows. So it's very important to know where it is you're focusing on and what it is you're focusing on. Could you focus on it differently? Could you just look somewhere else altogether? Is it helping you even? Like, are you actually being assisted by whatever you're being told, or what you're tuning in to watch, or what you're consuming? Because consumption is not just food, right? It's what your environment is giving you. More and more research in epigenetics shows that when we shift our environment, so can we shift our DNA. The way that we think and always have thought that we're stuck, in our health or in our genes and genetics, you can actually shift that. It's a study that's been here for quite a long time now, nothing new. Very similar to the placebo, right? So you have to really understand that it's up to you. You are a product of your environment. So can you create a better environment? It is up to you. You are not just a victim. You are not a victim at all. Remove yourself from that mentality of things are happening to me. No, they're happening for you. And this little shift in perspective is all the difference. When something happens, don't think, oh shit, why did this happen to me? Think, why did this happen for me? What is it trying to teach me? Find the lesson in everything. See everything as a learning curve, and everything will just be much lighter and more playful and beautiful. Turn off all the news and the media. It's only telling you half-truths, if that. Lots of agenda, lots of propaganda. I can talk about that for a long time, but that's not what the video is about, right? Turn off anything that doesn't make you feel good. Use your body as what it is. It's a barometer to show you when you're feeling down and sad and scared and fearful, you're not looking at, thinking at, or doing the right things. So remove yourself and see your emotions as that barometer. What else do you need? If you can see how you're feeling and it's not good, shift your environment, shift what you're watching, shift who you're listening to, shift your conversation, and shift the thoughts that you tell yourself. The internal monologue is the most important part of all of this. But the more that you consume amazing content, the more that your inner monologue will continue to shift into better and higher frequencies and states of consciousness. So it's really up to you. Every single day that you're not implementing and absorbing beautiful high vibe stuff, you are allowing the old fearful paradigm to constrict you and structure you into stuckness, into stagnancy. And you want to evolve, you want to grow, right? So it's really important to recognize where you have power and control. Another thing, grounding. We are part of the earth, and so many of us don't even connect with the earth at all. We think we're completely like separate to it. No, we could never ever be closer to anything that is the earth. The most natural foods are best. Being barefoot on the earth is amazing. Sun gazing, all these natural activities, movement, being outdoors is essential for ascension and essential for well-being and essential to keep a high vibration. Vibration is essentially your internal frequency, and if you are not raising it every day, then you are going to start feeling quite strong resistance to the energies coming in, because the energies are huge. The Schumann resonance is spiking. We have solar flares every single day nearly. We're getting bombarded by all this really high frequency energy, and unless we know how to process it and integrate it, it's just like creating loops and glitches in our energetic field rather than a nice flowing, moving dance that it should be, that really makes you feel light and awesome. That is part of being in a high vibration, is alignment, coherence, being able to just feel at peace, no thoughts, right? Unless you want them. This is how you should be. That should be your resting state. So if that is not your resting state, then there are things that you can implement to improve that. One of them, like I said, turning off all stuff, and not only stuff, but people, places, anything that makes you feel not good. Remove that from your life. Grounding and being out in nature, returning to the roots, rewilding, I like to say, because we are so far away from wild, but that is what we need the most. We are primal wild beings, we are sensual beings, and we have to express and integrate all of these emotions through these natural urges that we have. Like when you're really pissed off and you want to scream, you're like, ah, why don't you scream? Not scream at someone and berate them and abuse them, just scream out into nothingness and let it out, because you have an emotion that needs to be expressed. Same thing goes with energy and grounding. You are an electrical being, and so you have to discharge your electricity into the earth. And not only that, but you get recharged by the earth. So grounding is massive. Clean water, guys. Anything from the tap is a no-no. You need a filter. Fluoride and chlorine are terrible. Fluoride not only calcifies your pineal gland, but it completely calcifies your body. It is not a good thing unless it's just for teeth, but you are not just spitting it out, right? You're drinking it and you're affecting your insides. The chlorine is supposed to kill bacteria, but we're like 80-90% bacteria. So how does it know which bacteria to kill? There's good and bad bacteria. Same goes for antibiotics and all the pharmaceutical stuff. So try to stay natural. It's like pretty obvious, but a lot of people just miss it, right? As natural as possible is always the key. If you can fix it on your own, fix it on your own. Don't go to something external. That's a really big one. Staying in a high vibration essentially is taking charge and control of the fact that you are creating your reality, that you are in control, and that you can dictate what you feel for the most part, right? We're always going to be at the whim of certain cycles and stuff like this. But as you continue to put in the work, even the cycles themselves can be better understood and used to our advantage. But we can leave that for another video. So another thing that we can do to raise our vibration is, oh yeah, sorry, I was speaking about water. So having beautiful clean water without fluoride and without any chlorine, not only that, but alkaline water is the next step above. So we don't want acidicness in our body. You know, we want our pH to be nice and balanced, and the less acidic the better. So having water that is clean and alkaline is even more beautiful. If you don't have a machine for alkaline water, which I don't either, having some baking soda in water in the morning or on an empty stomach is really, really amazing. Just like the tip of a teaspoon, mix it in, wait till it all dissolves, drink it, you'll feel a difference. You don't have to wait for your body to be inflamed, which is what, you know, acidity does. Everything that causes illness is really just inflammation. So you don't have to wait to be ill or be inflamed to have alkaline water and like preventative kind of stuff, which is what you always want to do. You want to prevent it. You don't want to have to heal something. You want to just avoid it altogether. So keeping yourself healthy with really amazing water is key. Still water is also amazing instead of just regular water. Having it sitting for at least a few hours, if not a whole night, and blessing the water. It is alive, it has information, it is full of information, is essential. So that's another one. Taking the time to meditate is massive as well. Now, I don't mean everyone has to meditate the same. You can go for a walk and listen to music, that's meditation. If you're a musician, you play guitar or piano or whatever, that's meditation. Wherever you're in a flow state, whenever you're kind of chilling, whenever you don't have to think, whatever you can do to quiet the mind enough so you can hear your internal whispers is meditation. Find a way every day, or at least more often than not, to quiet down from the chaos of the world, go inward and find peace, because there is always peace inside of you. Another one that I think that's really important, that's not mentioned nearly enough, is EMF. And that is electromagnetic frequencies, right? We ourselves have an electromagnetic frequency. And so when we're constantly with Wi-Fi and 5G and 4G and 3G, all the Gs, all of it, technology in general, my phone, the lights, anything in your house, particularly Wi-Fi though, because that's even stronger and invisible and it's just going everywhere, is definitely wreaking havoc on your energetic system. So making sure to limit your use is huge. Not only, you know, throughout the day, but it's really, really important, particularly at night, if you want to get good sleep, which is another one that is huge for actually feeling your best through this chaos. You have to get good sleep. That's where you replenish, that's where you rejuvenate, that's where you heal. So if you're not getting quality sleep, you're not getting quality healing, regeneration, or anything like this, and you're constantly in like a lack of health versus a healthy, abundant, renewal energy and feel. So turning off all technology, 4, 5, the longer the better, before nighttime. As soon as sun goes down, you shouldn't actually make your body be near any of that blue light anymore, because it's dark. So if you do have a phone, you can get a blue light filter and it helps. It kind of gives the phone a bit of an orange feel, but really, if you just turn everything off before bed, I think you'll feel massively different. It is such a big deal, this EMF stuff, and I'm probably going to do a video all about it, but that's just definitely one of the things to consider when you are trying to keep your vibration high in this day and age, especially since we have more and more 5G towers coming up, right? More and more technology coming out. We only have to get more and more savvy in how to navigate and counteract these harmful frequencies, right? So I hope this helped. That was just some of the tips that came off my mind. I don't really script my videos. I just kind of let things flow, but I will be editing them, so I'll edit anything out. But it's really important for you to realize that you are in control of your vibration, and whether that feels aligned or not, it really depends on your level of co-creation, on your level of doing the work. Those that are nodding away and understanding are the ones that are doing the work. Those that are thinking, I'm not sure, are the ones that perhaps need a little bit of help to get there. And this is the kind of stuff that will get you there, because as you do this, your body innately fills in the gaps that you need, innately answers the questions that you have. So I hope this really helped, guys. Please do subscribe to my channel, because it will help me so much in getting more out there, and that's what I'm here to do, to reach the most people as possible. So yes, thank you so much for your support. Love you guys.